Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been on everyone's mind lately, the $1,400 stimulus check for low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries. This includes Social Security retirement, disability, SSD, survivors, spousal benefits, SSI, VA, RRB, low-income individuals, no-income seniors, older adults, and people with disabilities. This could impact between 50 million and 100 million people. Let's break it down and see what it means for you. So, why is this $1,400 stimulus check such a big deal? Well, many people rely heavily on these checks to meet their daily needs. If you're in this group, this check could provide some much-needed relief. But how will it be distributed, and who qualifies? To give you some context, during the last round of stimulus checks, over 282 million Americans received payments. That was about 85% of the population. However, not everyone needs these checks. This time, the focus is on those who really do. Now, let me ask you something. If you were to get a one-time $1,400 check right now, deposited into your bank account, or onto your Direct Express card, or delivered to you in some way, how would you use that money? I'm really curious to know what your priorities are right now. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Personally, I remember when the first stimulus checks went out, many people, including myself, were unsure of how to use that money effectively. I ended up using mine to pay off some medical bills and stock up on essentials. It made a huge difference in my financial situation. Recently, studies have shown that targeting stimulus checks to the lowest income groups is the most effective way to stimulate the economy. These individuals are more likely to spend the money immediately, which helps boost economic activity. For instance, if 50 million people receive a $1,400 check, it would cost about $70 billion, a small fraction of what has been spent on previous stimulus packages. Let me share some numbers with you. If a $1,400 check were sent to 100 million people, it would cost $140 billion. Compare that to the $850 billion spent on stimulus checks over a one-year period previously. It's clear that a more targeted approach could be more efficient and impactful. Remember the previous stimulus checks? They went out to 85% of the population, which was about 282 million people at the time. That's a huge number, and while it did provide relief, many people who received the checks didn't necessarily need them. This time, the focus is on ensuring that the money goes to those who really need it. This targeted approach could help prevent unnecessary spending and ensure that the funds are used effectively. Now, let's discuss how this impacts you. If you're a low-income or fixed-income beneficiary, this $1,400 check could be a lifeline. Whether it's covering medical expenses, paying for groceries, or helping with rent, this money can make a significant difference. But it's important to stay informed and understand the eligibility criteria and distribution process. To put things into perspective, let's look at some statistics. According to recent reports, there are around 64 million Social Security beneficiaries, including retirees, disabled workers, and survivors. Add to that the millions of veterans, SSI recipients, and low-income individuals, and it's clear that a significant portion of the population could benefit from this check. But what about the broader impact? How does this stimulus check fit into the larger economic picture? Well, it's all about stimulating the economy. When people have more money to spend, they can buy goods and services, which in turn supports businesses and creates jobs. It's a cycle that helps boost economic activity and support recovery. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges and criticisms. One common concern is that sending out stimulus checks can contribute to inflation. While it's true that increased spending can lead to higher prices, the impact of these checks is relatively small compared to other factors. For example, the government printed $6 trillion in a 12-month period, and the stimulus checks accounted for only about $850 billion of that. So, while they do have an impact, it's not as significant as some might think. Another criticism is that not everyone needs these checks. As I mentioned earlier, during the last round of stimulus checks, many people who received them didn't necessarily need the financial assistance. This time, the goal is to target the checks more effectively, ensuring that they go to those who are most in need. One approach that's been suggested is to send out ongoing monthly checks for a specified period. This could help provide more consistent support to those who need it most, rather than a one-time payment. For example, if low-income and fixed-income individuals received monthly checks for 3 or 4 months, it could have a more sustained impact on their financial stability. Let's look at the numbers again. If 50 million people received a $1,400 check, it would cost about $70 billion. If 100 million people received the same amount, it would cost $140 billion. These amounts are relatively small compared to the overall stimulus spending we've seen in recent years. For example, the CARES Act alone was a $2.3 trillion package. But why is it important to target these checks? Well, studies have shown that low-income individuals are more likely to spend the money quickly, which helps stimulate the economy. Higher-income individuals, on the other hand, are more likely to save the money or use it to pay down debt, which doesn't have the same stimulative effect. Let's take a moment to consider the real-life impact of these checks. For many people, a $1,400 check could mean the difference between paying their rent or facing eviction, covering medical expenses or going without necessary care, buying groceries or struggling with food insecurity. These are real issues that many people are facing, and this financial assistance can provide some much-needed relief. And it's not just about the immediate impact. Providing financial assistance to those in need can have long-term benefits as well. It can help people get back on their feet, support their families, and contribute to their communities. It's about more than just the money. It's about providing a safety net and helping people rebuild their lives. Now, let's address some common questions. One question I often get is about the eligibility criteria. Who qualifies for these checks? Well, the criteria can vary, but generally, the focus is on low-income and fixed-income individuals. This includes Social Security beneficiaries, veterans, SSI recipients, and others who are in need of financial assistance. Another question is about the distribution process. How will the checks be sent out? In previous rounds, checks were sent via direct deposit, mailed checks, or prepaid debit cards. It's likely that a similar process will be used this time as well. It's important to ensure that your information is up to date with the relevant agencies to avoid any delays. Let's also talk about the potential impact on the economy. As I mentioned earlier, providing financial assistance to low-income individuals can help stimulate the economy by increasing spending. This can support businesses, create jobs, and contribute to economic recovery. It's a ripple effect that benefits everyone. But it's not just about the economy. It's also about providing a sense of security and stability to those who are struggling. Financial stress can take a toll on mental and physical health, and providing this assistance can help alleviate some of that stress. It's about supporting our communities and helping each other through tough times. Before we wrap up, I want to share a personal story. When the first stimulus checks went out, I remember hearing from a friend who was really struggling. They used the money to pay for medical bills and buy groceries for their family. It made a huge difference for them, and it reminded me of the real impact that these checks can have. And that's why this topic is so important. It's about more than just numbers and statistics. It's about real people and real lives. It's about providing support and making a difference in our communities. So, to sum it up, the proposed $1,400 stimulus check aims to support those who need it most. If you fall into this category, it could provide significant financial relief. Remember, staying informed is crucial. If you have any questions or thoughts, please drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you would use the stimulus check if you received one. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. Let's keep supporting each other through these challenging times. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, I'm here for you every single day, watching the headlines, doing the research, and advocating on your behalf. We need to stick together right now, and I'll do whatever I can to help you navigate these tough times. Thanks for your support, and take care.